Like the latest one would probably be Mark Henry, because I grew up, watching Mark Henry, and then like he's part of All Caribbean, and at this last show, like he told me that he really enjoyed my match, and he thinks I'll be on the national stage very soon. So
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.
You are watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, and we have an amazing show with, yes, an amazing guest. Please welcome the gold standard, my West Indian sister. Please welcome Joseline Navarro. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, we're growing. I'm seeing a lot more West Indian women in particular getting into wrestling. So let's, because not a lot of people can answer these questions unless they're part of the Caribbean community. So let's break it down for them. So you when you go on your profile, there's 3 flags. Tell everybody what those flags represent, just because some people just don't. They everybody knows the Jamaican flag, but the other flags people don't know. So let's tell them who you rep.
All right, so it's 3 flags. It's the Jamaican flag, the Dominican flag, and the Trinidadian flag.
And then how's it broken down? Who's what?
So my dad he has the Jamaican and the Trini side, and then my mom has the Dominican side.
Okay. We won't go into the rest of the stuff because you know. But with that being said, you said it, you referenced it in another interview. In particular, West Indians, like, we're known for, the soccer, track, other things. Like, I remember growing up and watching wrestling with my dad once in a while, but it was never a thought to make it a profession. So, what was that like? Like, how did wrestling become part of your life?
Growing up, like, my brother, like, loved wrestling. And one day, I sat down and watched wrestling with him. I had to be like 5 or 6 or something. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, And I started, playing other sports. Like, I ran track, played soccer, like a typical West Indian. And then and then I came right back around to wrestling. So that's how all that happened.
Just kind of in the household. So how did it get started? So did you were like, this is something I really want to do, and you started searching out a wrestling school? Or how did you, because there are people who say a lot of things, but then the next action is to actually do something about it. So how did that come about?
I actually was running track in college, and then had some things happen, and I was like, you know, try to, finally do wrestling. So I was excelling in, track and field and stuff, but I just, lost love for it, really. So I came back to Cleveland, Ohio, and I searched around for a wrestling school, and I found one, and I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and try this, So that's how that happened.
And so thus far, like, you've been I've seen your name float around for quite some time. I remember when Sarah the Rebel brought your name up when we first started doing the show in 2020. But like, since you started to this point, as far as women in wrestling, and in particular Black women in wrestling, how have you seen it? Have you seen it grow? Is it still the same? What is it like in your opinion?
I've definitely seen a lot of growth within women's wrestling since I started wrestling, and especially with Black women in wrestling. We are really a force right now in wrestling, so it's pretty dope to watch all of my sisters and stuff really get a chance to shine and show that we all belong. But then just women in general, we're showing that we can hang, we can wrestle the guys, wrestle better than the guys and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope to watch, really.
It is. Another thing too, you do a lot of intergender matches. So this year for PWI, and I'm sure you're going to be a part of the PW women's edition as well. You were ranked 475 for PWI 2023. Not a lot of women are on there, and the reason why women are on there is because of their intergender matches. So what, I guess, first off, obviously training wise, there's not a lot of women in the school. so that's why kind of you start training men. But to do matches, like why did you decide like I'm gonna do matches as well? Like it just doesn't just have to be women.
Um, I grew up with guys, so I was, and then like you said, it's not a lot of women training in the schools, so I trained with mostly guys also. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just very natural, like wrestling them and stuff, and it's they're really fun to wrestle actually. Like they have less regard for their life, so like so
All right.
it's just one of those things where it's just like you wrestle a guy and it's just like do whatever you want, you can kill me, and it's just like all right, like like that's cool. But I enjoy intergender wrestling. It's very fun. It's actually my favorite style of wrestling to do.
Okay. Is there anything that like stands out, or is it just more like they have no regard for life? So it's like I could try anything, and I won't. There's no repercussions.
Yeah, that, and like they when you get in there with a guy that's going to treat you like you're a wrestler and not a woman, like you'll get a really good match. You'll get a really good hard hitting match, and that's what I like. That's what I like to do. Like I'm gonna hit you, so hit me back, and that's what a lot of the guys do. So yeah.
Nice. And I mean, being a part of the PWI 500 is not a small fate, men or women, because there's a lot of wrestlers out there. Like when we started in 2017, I was like, I don't know how long we're going to keep up interviewing female wrestlers because I don't know if we'll have enough. And now we're here, approaching 2024, and it's very few wrestlers that we've actually interviewed for the second or third time. Like there's so many female wrestlers right now coming up. So, being a part of that list, again, what was that feeling like? Were you just kind of like, yeah, I'm the gold standard, like I should be on the list, or were you excited? What happened when your name was on there?
Well, I really didn't think I was going to go on there. So then when I seen that I was on there, I was like, oh shit, like like that's pretty cool. Like I'm finally being recognized after a couple of years. Finally being recognized for my hard work, so it's great. I want to keep climbing up and climbing up. I want to reach the top of the list. That'll be great thing to happen. So, but it was definitely dope to see my name on there and to be able to show my mom and my dad like, hey, I'm on this list. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, parents do love like a good list. Like we can see your name. We're now knowing that what the effort you're putting in is making sense to the rest of the world. But what do your parents think? I mean, it was one thing to go to a wrestling school and all this stuff, but it's not your. Well, I'm not gonna put my parents on your parents. My parents were about working for the government or the post office or whoever for 25 years, clocking in, clocking out, getting your pension, getting your house, and living your best life. So I don't know about your parents, but if your parents were like my parents, what was that conversation like? Like, hey, I'm going to do this wrestling thing and travel the world.
My parents are so supportive and like whatever I want to do. My mom was a little worried at first because she was like, oh, this is really like physical. But I was like, I'll be fine. Like, I played physical sports growing up. So I'm like, I'll be fine. It's just another thing. But they're very supportive. They come to all the shows that I do at home.
Nice.
Um, they buy my t-shirts. My dad boos me, but my mom cheers for me. So, it's pretty fun. Like the wrestlers at my home promotion know my parents and stuff. So like it's pretty fun. They love it.
That's awesome. And then you've also gotten to be part of WWE and AEW. Again, I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers out there, and those opportunities are, they're not coming to everybody. So, what were those two experiences like?
It was fun. Like you got to see how things operate on a big scale, like how WWE and how AEW operates. Catering, that's my favorite part. Catering
That part.
was, yeah.
I
Love
agree.
catering. They tell us to sit in catering, so I'm like, you ain't got to tell me twice, okay?
And the
But
food is good too. It's not like y'all don't for you
yeah,
guys who don't know, craft services for talent, because you have two different craft services, and this is more like the entertainment side of things. Like if you're like like a walk on or something like that. Entertainment wise, you might get like a box of chicken or something like that. But craft services, WWE sitting back there, the that's like you don't like bring if you have the opportunity, bring Tupperware, but don't let people see that you brought
Yeah,
Tupperware because the food's really good.
yeah, that catering is very good. And then most for the most part, like the wrestlers that are signed, they'll talk to us and stuff, um, ask us how our careers is going and stuff like that. It's definitely awesome. And then with AEW, I got to do a dark match in Cleveland, so my parents was able to come to that too. So
Nice.
that was pretty cool also to do.
Was your dad booing you there too?
No, he didn't there. But
Okay.
that one in particular was such a full circle moment because I graduated in that building, and then I came back to wrestle in that building. So it was like, this is pretty cool.
And so now, like, you're very active on social media. Like, I see you putting in the work in the gym, stuff like that. You've been on WWE, AEW. What is like, do you stay in contact with them, or what is the game plan? As far as, do you want to kind of go to those bigger promotions, or are you good more in the indie scene, making money, traveling, all that stuff? Like, what's the ultimate goal?
I would love to get signed. Oh my god, like that would be the best. Like, just trying to get a look. Like, I don't know how, but I just keep putting in the work, keep sending my stuff in. So hopefully, one of them hit me up like, hey, let's get you a tryout or something. Being signed, that would be the best. I've always dreamed about working for WWE, so being able to like work there like as a permanent, talent, that would be a dream come true. So yeah.
Okay. Now, has there been any, and we'll put that in the universe for you. So let's put it in the universe. You can get signed before the end of 2024 because 2023 is like done. Let's be honest. One more month, people are
Yeah.
already on vacations. But 2024, you're gonna get signed to one of those companies, particularly WWE, because that's what you put in the universe. So let's put that there first.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but with that being said, you've been backstage and you've done a lot of different. Like I saw that you went to the Caribbean. The Caribbean just had was it called All Caribbean Wrestling, which is cool. I want to look into. But
Yeah.
you've done a lot of traveling and met a lot of different wrestlers, both starting out and has been in the game. Has there been anyone that it was like, I wouldn't say starstruck, but that's like, damn, I've watched you on TV and now you're meeting them in person?
Um, it's been a few of them, but like the latest one would probably be Mark Henry because I grew up, watching Mark Henry, and then like he's part of All Caribbean, and at this last show, like he told me that he really enjoyed my match and he thinks I'll be on the national stage very soon. So like to go from growing up watching him and then to him watching me and then giving me compliments and stuff, that was incredible. It was amazing.
Nice. Did he give you any like piece of advice?
He just told me to just keep working hard, keep putting in the universe that that I'm going to be on that next level, and just keep doing what I'm doing and stuff like that. So, but
Okay.
the number one thing is he was just like just keep working hard, don't give up, because it's harder for the black talent to get the same things as everybody else. But he
Yeah.
was like just keep pounding the pavement, keep working hard.
Nice. And is there anybody else that you've met along the way as well? I mean, Mark Henry is huge. So, but is there anybody else?
Jazz, meeting Jazz, and that was awesome. And then every time she sees me, she call me by name, give me a hug, we talk, and every single time I'm like, oh my gosh, she remembered me, like, because she was my favorite. Like, her and Jacqueline was my favorite. So just for her to like remember who I am and like we have conversations and stuff, like it's really like it makes the little girl in me very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, she reminds me of a like she gives me like auntie vibes. Like you don't want to say anything out of term because she can't
Yep.
beat you up in real life. So it's very much like very respectful, like wherever you're comfortable, I'm comfortable too. So yeah,
Yep.
she is amazing. But tell me about this All Caribbean Wrestling. I saw it pop up. I saw the event has now since passed. But what was that experience like? Were all the wrestlers Caribbean, or was it more of the promotions there, and then there was kind of a half and half? What was the experience like?
It's an incredible experience to be able to go and wrestle in the Caribbean, especially as a Caribbean woman. Um, not all of the wrestlers have Caribbean descent, but everybody, does their best to make the show amazing. We did Trinidad twice last year, and earlier this year we did the Bahamas last year too, and then we did Jamaica a few weeks ago. And I was like, I absolutely have to be on the Jamaica one. Like that's I have to. So be able to do that one and to be the main event of that show at that, like it was a dream come true. I had so much fun. Like I cried after the match. Like it was just because that was always just one of the things that I wanted to do. Like ever since I started wrestling, I was like, I have to get to the Caribbean. I have to wrestle down there. Like that's
Right.
one of the my big things. And then for it to finally be able to happen, like it was a dream come true. Like I loved it. It was very hot though. Like the venue didn't have air,
Yeah.
and I didn't like that.
That sounds about right.
The main event was me and JC Storm, who is Dominican. So
Mm.
that was even more special because we are both Caribbean and we got to have that moment together. So that was pretty cool.
Now, how did it come? Like, how did it come to be? Like, because it just popped up on my timeline, maybe within the last 6 months or so. So, has it been around for a long period of time? And then also, what is the crowd like?
So they started All Caribbean last year.
Okay.
Um, I I had met this girl Maserati. She's from Vegas. I met
Mm-hmm.
her at OVW, and excuse me. And she got me. She told the guy that runs the promotion. He runs a different promotion down in Florida, like to book
Mm-hmm.
me and stuff. So then he booked me. We met all of that. Then he was like, "Yeah, I'm running a show in the Bahamas. I want you to wrestle on the show." And I was like, "All right, like you ain't got to twist my arm."
That part.
So I was like, "Okay, cool." And then we did that, and I was like, "Okay, this is cool." And then he was like, "All right, I'm starting a Caribbean-based promotion. Our first show was gonna be in Trinidad." It was April of last year, and I was like, "Okay, I'm down. That's cool." So that's really how they started that, and the crowd is so no. You know what? It was July of last year. Yeah, it was July of last
Okay.
year because the show was on my birthday. Yep.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
yeah. So the crowd loves it. Like the crowd is so into it, especially when the women wrestle because they don't really have wrestling down there like at all.
Mm-hmm.
But for them, like to see the women like doing the same stuff that the guys are doing, like they are super into it. They're they buy our merch and stuff like that. Like they're super into it. Like it's very fun going down there, wrestling in front of the crowds down there.
Nice. So let's talk about the business of wrestling. um, there's a lot people just think, and it kind of also bothers me sometimes when people kind of go in on wrestlers not realizing, like, first the work involved just to stay safe in the ring, to keep yourself safe and the person you're in the ring with. But in general, as far as an indie wrestler, and making money, and like this profession's not, you're not balling like, Roman Reigns out the gate. So what is the
Yeah.
business of wrestling? Like what's your day to day as far as you as a wrestler?
um, you know, hitting the gym, making sure I'm eating right, making sure I'm getting enough protein in, um, cardio, which I hate. That's the worst thing ever. Um,
That part.
like like wrestling is a body business. It's a vanity business. Like your body has to look good, and a lot of people like now we're in an era where people is like, you know, body positivity, whatever, whatever, which is fine. But like at the end of the day, like we're still athletes, so
Mm-hmm.
you want to look like you can beat somebody up, you know, like fans don't want to come to shows and see somebody that they can look at and be like, oh, I can kick his ass, you know, like
Right.
they want to see people that look like superheroes and stuff like that. And so taking care of my body physically is very important. You know, going to a chiropractor, massages and stuff like that. And then like the business aspect, you know, I spend a lot of money on gear. Like gear is so expensive, it's ridiculous. But you know, you wanna look good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So gear, that's the thing. And then, you know, gas is super high. So driving places, you know, training, all of that. Like it's a lot with being a wrestler, and you just have to really you have to really want it bad enough to like not give up. And because sometimes you're gonna get very frustrated and you're like, you know what, I'm about to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. You know, we all hit
Mm-hmm.
those valleys and those peaks and stuff. You know, but overall, like it's fun for the most part. I love I love the travel aspect of traveling
Mm-hmm.
with my people. That's one of my favorite things to do. I prefer flying though. Definitely prefer flying, but but the travel aspect is fun. You make a lot of memories with a lot of great people. So.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. What is, and it's a two-part question, and you can feel free if you don't want to answer the second part. But what, when you think of wrestling, like what is, and like the happy moment, what is the one thing that comes to mind? And then also when you think of wrestling, like the shitty moment where it's just like you were on the verge of quitting, and what's the one thing that comes to mind?
Happy moments. One of the things about wrestling that makes me so happy is the the entertainment aspect of it, like how happy or how upset you can make the fans. I think that's such a lot of people really actually can't do that. A lot of people don't have crowd control,
Mm-hmm.
and so for me, I have really good crowd control. Rather, I'm a face or a heel, so it's very fun to like get the crowd to cheer or boo me. I really like it when they boo me, or like when like little kids try to fight me and stuff. Like that makes me happy, you know,
I like it.
because I'm like, oh, all right, you're really into this, you know. And then like shittier moments is like, you know, sometimes you know you get a little frustrated because you like, oh, you know, I'm working so hard, and sometimes things don't happen the way you want them to happen, or things don't move the way you want them to move. So it's just like, damn, like, am I wasting my time? And then, like, you know, you have those moments, and then you shake yourself out of it, and you're just like, all right, let's get back down to business. So,
I like it. I like it. Now I heard this in another interview, and that interview was a year ago. And then I kind of was nosy, went through your social media. And that other interview said you were dating and engaged to a wrestler. I don't know if you still are. I'll just
yeah,
check
he's
in
right
before I
here.
ask you next question. Okay, just checking because I was like, I don't see him anywhere. I don't know, like if you, I was just, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not seeing nothing, but. But with that being said, what is that like? What is that like as far as, I mean, y'all driving together, wrestling together? Like, how do you guys lift each other up? Because it's not a hard, it's a hard business.
Yeah, it's very hard. We both have our moments where we need to pick me up and stuff. I, our problem with in our relationship specifically is injuries. Oh my god, like like he tore like both his Achilles like last year.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah. So you know we had hit those rough patches. Like we'd get the ball rolling and then bam, an injury, and it's just like damn. Like I was there, and then now I got to start all over. Like earlier this year, I tore my PCL, so that mentally just it messes you up mentally, you know.
Right.
And then um, for to be in a relationship with somebody that's in the business, they understand, and they could, you know, lift you up in a way that somebody that is not in the business can lift you up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and then, you know, we push each other. We make sure each other is, you know, doing the things that we're supposed to do, like take care of our bodies and stuff like that. And if one of us is slacking, the other one is like, you know, let's get the ball rolling. Like, what you doing? Like, you know, we stay on each other because we're trying to make it together, you know. So
I like it. So before we wrap up, you've had quite a lot of matches. Who haven't you had a match with? So give me maybe 3 women, maybe 3 to 5 women or men who you'd love to have matches with.
ooh, that's a good question. Athena is one. Um, I would love to wrestle her. Oh my god. She is so good. I would love to wrestle her. I'm trying to think. Like, who else? Um, Kiara Hogan. I would like to wrestle her. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know. Dude, oh, I would like to wrestle Mercedes too. That would be dope.
Okay.
Um,
Wait, which Mercedes?
uh, Monet.
Okay.
That one. Yeah. I forgot about her. I forgot about Mercedes.
I was like, we got a couple Mercedes, so I was like, we have to clarify. You know, again, putting that in the universe to make sure which Mercedes we're talking about.
I don't know. Like, that's three, I know, but it's some that I've wrestled before that I would like to wrestle again.
Okay.
You know, so like Willow, me and her wrestled a few years ago. I would like to wrestle her again.
Mm-hmm.
That would be dope. Um, Bert Vixen, I would like to wrestle her again. I would like to wrestle him again too.
I mean, I would assume that you guys wrestle all the like. It's because you guys travel together. So is that not a thing? It's like, oh well, you guys came together, so you guys tag team or anything like that, or no?
No, you know, people like to book us like we don't even exist in each other's timeline. So, like, we're a tag team at like one place in Indianapolis called Naptown. But
Uh-huh.
most shows that we're on together, like, we're but completely separate. We've wrestled each other twice though, so
Okay.
we're due for another match.
And who came out on top on those 2 matches?
He won both times, but it's all right. Third time's a charm, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you need a best of 5. Like you can't end at 3. You need a best of 5 and take that. I mean, no shade, but I'm just saying. That's if I were writing it, that's how it would be.
Right.
Um, with that said, I'm gonna do some rapid hot tags. So just give me whatever answer comes to your mind. So if you were to have one superpower, what superpower would it be?
Transport. I just transport anywhere in the world.
Yeah, because this plane and travel stuff, I'm not about it either. Um, what are you binging? What are you binge watching now?
What am I binge watching right now? What are we binge watching right now? Like New York Undercover or something?
New York, like from the '90s? Did they do? Did they do a remake?
No, we watched it on Amazon Prime. There we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, your house catches fire. You're able to save everything, dog, family members, all that stuff, but you're only able to go back in for one final item. What would it be?
Oh my god, I don't know. I don't know. My suitcase full of gear.
I mean, you said it was expensive, so yeah, that makes sense. As far as gear is concerned, that's the end of the rapid hot tags. As far as gear is concerned, what is the average price range? Because it's one of those things where the gear looks like how like women pack for vacations. Like you can essentially pack everything in one carry-on because everything is so small and all this other stuff. So, but it looks like there's a lot of work. It's almost like carnival costumes. What is
Yeah.
the kind of the price range for gear for women?
Oh man. Really, it just depends on who makes it. But
Mm,
I've been quoted like $800. I didn't pay that though. I was like, oh, oh no, not $800. But I think the most I've ever paid for gear, I don't know, probably like three something,
wow.
which
Okay.
is like that's on the lower end of the spectrum, but
Right.
it's still like I could spend that on literally anything else, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, it's like two two to 300 per set, and you know you want to have a bunch of different sets, and I usually get two sets made at a time, so it's just like,
Woo. Man,
yeah,
okay. I mean, I get it. I get it. Well, actually, yeah, I kind of get it because carnival costumes, but I only buy that one carnival, like buying a set. So it's
yeah,
I see what you're saying. With that being said, how can people support you?
yes, support me, okay.
That part.
um, Follow me on Twitter, Joss_E_Navarro, Instagram, Jocelyn__Navarro, TikTok, Jocelyn_Navarro 13. I think I'm pretty funny for the most part. Um, don't send me rude messages.
That part. Yeah, keep it to yourself. It's like, why do you
Yeah,
feel the need to?
yourself.
It's weird.
Because some fans dislike me, so they send me rude messages. Like one said, I got a big head like a Bratz doll, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I was
Yes.
like,
It's,
yeah, okay. But yeah, definitely follow me on there, support me.
and what about
If you
merch?
see me, huh?
What about merch?
Yes, I got my shirts. I gotta post my new link for my shirts, so I'll post it on my Twitter later on today. So
Okay.
I got these new Grand Theft Auto style shirts. They're very cute. They sell out really well, so definitely grab one. I got them in green and orange.
Okay.
Very cute. Definitely copy some.
I like it. I like it. So make sure you're following Jocelyn on everything. Like I said, really great talking to you. I've been seeing you on social for a long time, and it's only a matter of time that things hard work, and that's what we do. So it's only a matter of time. We're gonna see you. We're putting you in the universe. End of next year, 2024. You're gonna be signed. You're gonna be booked. You're gonna have those 5 matches with your boo that you're gonna take over. You're gonna have the best of 3. We're putting it all there for you. So thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you guys check in, tap in with Jocelyn on all social media platforms. You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad, but definitely follow Women's Wrestling Talk on everything, www.talkpod.com and at WW Talk Pod. Till next time, guys. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
The #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.